What an amazing session you are just about to watch right now. I learned so much about LottieFiles and I have used it. I have used on the UX UI Hub app and in many of the apps I have created so far. But I always just did it with my intuition. It is one thing do things when, yeah, it seems like it works like this, but it's totally another thing when you have an expert teaching you. And that's what you are about to watch right now with Yaamin and Kelly. And I couldn't be more proud of my first skill hour. I will put below the link for you to join the build hour session that will be the next one, where I will apply everything we learned today on this workshop into the UX UI Hub app. There is one little animation there right now, and I want to change that and maybe even add some more fun things for you to watch random things happening through the app. What about you joining me for that chair? So let's start.
My name is Yamin. So I run global partnerships at LottieFiles. In the morning, I'm a marketer. At night, I do design, and sometimes I also do a bit of code work as well. So I will work very closely with the design teams at LottieFiles and of course the product teams where I always tell people that I have the coolest job because all I do is talk about design and animation. I'm really excited to actually do the session for you guys.
Hi, I'm Kelly, staff visual designer of LottieFiles. I do all things launches, blogs, content, sometimes some social posts. So all the new product releases, all the new features all come to me first, and I create those videos and visuals for you guys.
So all the cool stuff that you see from a lot of our social media handles, the animation that you see on the website, that's Kelly and the team. Feel free to just go to LottieFiles.com and see their work in action. So it's pretty amazing. All right. So first of all,
Yes.
nice to meet you all. Welcome to this workshop by LottieFiles team. We've been actually doing this in a lot of places, and thanks Carla for actually inviting us to actually share a very quick way. If you are not familiar with animation, also do put in the chat your familiarity with creating animations. Zero if you have actually no experience with creating animations. Five if you're like a pro, where you're like, okay, I can create animations on any tool out there. All right. So while you guys put in the chat, let me just introduce LottieFiles. So Lottie now powers everyday design. We're talking about product guides, product walkthroughs, animated stickers that you see on stuff like Samsung's, on system animations. Everybody uses Lottie animations now to kind of put these amazing experiences for your customers through animation and provide an amazing digital experience for their customers. Now, Lottie Files is a little bit different than Lottie. Lottie is, of course, the file format. Lottie Files, we are a motion design company, motion design platform, actually, where we're actually serving, like Carla said, over 14 million designers and developers from 280,000 plus companies, just for them to kind of work, bring all the animations together. What we do is we enable motion so that you can actually work on your animation, multiple ways for you to actually get started on animation, and of course, multiple ways for you to actually collaborate with your developers and bring motion to your products. Like I said, like Canva, democratizing design, where Canva is kind of making it enable for everybody to come and design. We are democratizing motion design. If you want to know a little bit more about our ecosystem, we have multiple ways for you to actually get started on animation. Multiple tools in our ecosystem: After Effects, Figma, which we're going to learn today on how you can actually create production-ready motion in Figma. And also we have our own Lottie Creator. Any animation tool which creates Lotties can actually be brought into our workspace, where you can actually collaborate with your team. And we're actually going to show you guys a little bit more on the collaboration side today as well. And of course, last thing, how do you actually become our developer's best friend forever? By just designing on our systems. And we'll provide a couple of ways where you can actually do a handoff today. And yeah, by the time you're done, we hope that you guys learn something really amazing with us. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy. So why Figma Lottie files that we're actually going to teach you today? Well, a lot of our customers actually use Figma Lottie files, and we're going to show you three key reasons that they can do it. And we'll, of course, in the workshop, you guys going to see it as well. So Figma Lottie is a very quick way where you can actually convert prototypes into production-ready animations. Now, imagine if you're already an expert on smart animate. You can easily create an animation using LottieFiles. Now, previously, of course, there was no way to kind of convert it. Now you have a way you can convert it into production-ready animation. So multiple use cases out there. What we kind of allow, and we know as a PD, if you're designing, you want to know how the animation looks like. So you can actually create production-ready animations while you're designing using Figma. We're going to show you guys that as well. You can actually test animations within a Figma design. And of course, if you are in a larger team where you have a dedicated motion designer, you can impress that person off. You can actually create the animation within Figma and actually hand off to your motion designer, where your motion designer can actually complete the animation. So multiple use cases out there for Figma, Lottie. So what we're going to do today, you are going to learn how you can actually create Lottie animations with Figma and LottieFiles. We're going to teach you how you can do a couple of things, a little bit of a basic side of it. Just that let you guys know this is not an animation workshop. We're going to teach you guys motion design, a little bit on how you can create motion, the foundations of how you can actually create this stuff. And by the time you're done, you'll be ready to kind of go out and try your own animations. And the second thing is, of course, we're going to teach you guys also how to hand off the animation once you're done using LottieFiles. And after everything's done, we will give you guys a final challenge where within a week you can submit your animation and we will certify you as a Figma Lottie expert. Now, there are countless opportunities with this as well. And just before that, if you guys are afraid of what you guys can create, these are actually animations that were actually created in our workshop by our participants. So don't feel shy. We'll teach you guys the basics, and after that, you guys will be ready to create something amazing. Just before that, if you're looking for further opportunities after this workshop, we actually have a partnership with Contra at the moment, where a lot of experts are there from LottieFile side. If you guys want to be certified as a Figma Lottie expert, you can actually go to Contra and you can actually apply to be a Figma Lottie expert, and we'll provide the badge as well if you have the certification. So, and if you're interested in more stuff with Lottie Files, please do visit lottie.community. We have tons of events. We have tons of education material, other certification courses as well that we have with other companies. So do feel free to check out lottie.community. And if you are interested after this to learn a little bit more, we are actually running a Folks 3D class where you can actually create Folks 3D with LottieFiles or Figma. And I'm going to teach you a little bit of it today. And then, of course, if you're interested to learn more on how you can actually do it, do actually come to Lottie community and actually learn from our expert. That's it. Let's actually get started. Let's have some fun.
Before we get started on Figma, where we'll learn how to make Lottie animations together, I'm just going to answer a few questions that might be floating in your mind right now. So, what is the level of skill required for this workshop? As long as you know how to draw a frame, like so, and draw a shape, like this, we are 50% there. Like that is really like half of the workshop. So don't worry too much. Next is what is the level of animation we expect? This can vary. It can be super complex, like this Pikachu animation right here. Let me show you how it looks. Or it can be something a little bit more simple, like this clapping animation. So the sky's the limit. It's all really based on how creative you are and how you're going to use the basics that we've taught you today. How do I get certified? We will give you a challenge at the end of this workshop, and you will have 7 days to do the challenge, and then you get your pretty new certificate. And lastly, very important, if you have any questions, you can use the comment feature on Figma and just tag us, like Yaamin or me, and we'll be happy to help you out. Or you can just drop your questions in the chat window. All right, so now let's get on to this link, this one, lottie.link/skill hour. I think Yaamin will drop the link on the chat window so you guys can easily access it. While we join in onto that Figma link, I just want to reiterate that this workshop consists of 3 parts. Part 1, we're going to learn all about the plugin, what's in the plugin, how to use the plugin, and also the different methods in order to create a Lottie in Figma. And in part 2, we're going to take everything we've learned in part one, and together with Yaamin, we're going to create something really cool, like a real use case for UI with the tools that you've learned. And in part three, we'll show you how to implement and hand it off to your developers. Once you're inside the Figma file, you will see section like so. Pick any one.
Right, so everybody has to go to the playground section of the file.
Yes, the playground section. You just have to put your name on the top like so. And this would be your playground. This is where you will follow me, and together we'll create full Lottie animations together. Over here. Yes, everyone's here. All right, okay, let's get started. So let's start with how to access the plugin and what's in it. If you don't already know how to access the plugin on Figma, you can just head on over down to this toolbar at the bottom and click on the Actions button. Then just select Plugins and Widgets and search for LottieFiles. Once you see the iconic mint logo, LottieFiles logo, just run the plugin. Feel free to do it together with me. And then you can also explore it on your own as well while I go through every tab that is on this plugin. So we have four very, very cool tabs here. The first one is the Discover tab. And over here, you will have access to over 750,000 free and premium Lottie animations that are ready for you to use in your design. So if you don't have to create from scratch, just search for anything you want. And once you found something that you like this, for example, you can insert it as an SVG, where you can change its color, add some stuff, or delete some elements from it. You can also use it as a starting point for your Figma to Lottie projects as well. Or you can also insert it as a GIF into your designs, and then you can use it in your prototype mode. Other than that, you can also save it to your LottieFiles workspace. That's where you'll be able to hand it off to your developers and actually use them in your websites, your apps, and all that. Another cool thing that you can do over here is this. This is the color palette feature. So watch what happens when I just click on the different presets that I have here. So it'll recolor your animation based on the preset. So you can actually use presets, or if you're working for a brand, you have like your own brand colors and stuff like that, you can actually add your own brand colors and you can recolor all the Lottie animations based on that brand. So super simple. All right, so let's move on to workspace. So your workspace, we'll cover it in part three, but generally it is like a Google Drive for your Lotties. That's where all your Lotties sit. That's where you can collaborate with your team, your developers, your other designers, even your marketers, to ship and hand off your Lotties. And you can also edit your Lotties from there. So that's something cool about the workspace. And let's move on to tools. Over here, we have three really cool tools. AI prompt to vector. It's pretty straightforward. It'll generate a vector graphics from your prompts, so you don't have to start from scratch. And that will be super easy when you want to create like a Figma to Lottie animations. You can just prompt something and then you start from there. You don't have to start from scratch. The second tool is my favorite tool. It's the raster to vector tool. Basically, it's for situations where your client decides to give you their logo in an Excel sheet, and you need it in, I don't know, white instead of black. So you can just screenshot the logo as a PNG, and then it will turn it into a vector that allows you to edit the colors or move things around if you need to. And lastly, you have the import Lottie animations tool. Super simple. If you have your own Lottie JSON file or a .lottie file, you can just drop it here, and you can just add it into your designs as an SVG or as a GIF, so you can show your prototypes, stuff like that. And lastly, we have the export to Lottie tool. Over here, this is where all the magic happens, and that's what we're gonna do today. All right. So now that you know what's in the plugin, let's actually create a Lottie the simplest way with using just one single frame. So let's do this together. Everyone in your sections, let's just follow along, or you can do your own rendition as we go. But first, we're gonna create a frame. So head on over to the toolbar at the bottom, select frame, and just click and draw a frame. So the size of the frame doesn't matter. You can actually create it like, I don't know, 10 pixels by 10 pixels. That small, it wouldn't matter because a Lottie is infinitely scalable. So you can scale it up to as big as a building and it will not pixelate. So feel free to play with the sizes, but for now, I'm just gonna create it at 500 by 500 pixels. And for good practice, I will just rename my frame to heart. Once you're ready, on the left side of your sections, each of your sections, you will see this heart graphic. Let's just grab it and put it inside the frame. So the frame is basically like your artboard in Illustrator or like your composition in After Effects. So your things need to be inside the frame in order for it to be animated as a Lottie. Anything outside the frame will not be animated. When you're ready, let's open up the plugin. You can do as we did initially just now, or if you already open it, there's a shortcut by just right-clicking, select plugins, go to LottieFiles, and then run the plugin. When you have it open, make sure you select the frame. See this export to Lottie button light up, just click on it. And there you have it, a Lottie animation with just a single click. So when you're animating with one single frame, you're basically animating with presets, as you can see at the bottom here. Feel free to play around with the presets, see what happens, see what will make your animation look good. Feel free to actually try it with different shapes if you want to as well. So over here, we've got like some rotation, like a slide up moment happening. You can even do like something simple like a fade in. But for now, I'm just going to use pulse. And if you scroll up just a little, you can see some settings here that you can play with. So over here is the duration, and all these values are based on number of frames. So if you put a longer duration, watch how the animation becomes a lot slower. And over here, we have the start delay and end delay. That means the animation kind of pauses a little bit, like for 25 frames at the end before it starts animating all over again. So you can do that at the beginning or at the end. So that's something you can play around as well to make the animation, however you like. Another cool thing that you can actually toggle is the layer animation. Right here, you can see the sequential and parallel. Right now, it's at sequential, where each layer kind of animates one by one. But watch as I click on parallel. All three layers animate at one go. So that's some small settings that you can play when you're using single frame animations and using presets. I'm just going to pause here just for a minute, just for you guys to play around and see how it works. And if you have any questions or if you're stuck, tag Yaamin or just drop a question in the chat window.
And that's the end of the workshop. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
You don't
We have
need
more stuff to
anything
learn.
else, right? Like you learned, guys. You learned.
But you guys could do. I mean, we have some couple more stuff to learn. Yeah, just feel free to test it around and let us know if you guys run into any problems.
Yeah. We'll just pause just for a minute,
Oh,
just
I
play
love that
around.
Molly just wrote saying like, even if it was it, it's still one of the best workshops I have taken in ages.
Oh, thank you, Molly.
Yeah, I think there's a
So,
question. There's someone, I think Himani, she says she missed the first step.
Hey,
Ah,
I mean,
which first step?
yeah, so whenever I put in the hearts on the frame of 500 by 500, what do we do? Like when we run the plugin, do we go to Discover or Workspace? That's the only thing that to see.
Ah,
Yeah, run the
right.
plugin.
Go to export to Lottie.
Export to Lottie. Yeah, I did
Yeah,
that.
make sure you
The,
selected the frame.
the frame? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
make
So
sure it's
that's the
selected.
okay.
Yeah, and then export to Lottie.
Oh, I have to click. Okay, yeah, now perfect.
Yeah, that
Okay,
works?
cool. Now, yeah,
Awesome.
now I know everything that you showed, but I just missed that. Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I see a question from Sam. I got the heart, but I don't know how I got to the settings in Lottie. It's just right below the player, right here.
so I have no questions, but I have a comment that I thought was quite cool. I saw here that I exported a Lottie to GIF and I lost the transparency. And I also removed the transparency on the design. But even if I keep it white, it can also show us transparency. Can you tell me a little bit more on that?
Ah, right. So when this part here, it's white fill, it doesn't become a shape in the Lottie. So if you want a colored background, you really need to create another shape inside it. Like for example, I'm just going to put a crappy color, like a real shape inside it, and now you have the background. So it wouldn't render the fill of the frame as a part of the Lottie. Yeah.
Is there a way to export the GIF with the transparency?
Yeah. So let me just go back. Do this. So now you have this. Insert it as a GIF. As you can see, there's a transparency button there. So now we have this. Right now it's blank, but once you play it, you have your GIF
Yeah,
ready for you.
but that's what I meant, like you have three layers of hearts, and then you
Yeah.
have one with a full 100%, then 50%, and so on. It should it be solid colors or should it be, transparency of the same color?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a little bug that we've just noticed. Thank you for showing us this problem. So we have a little bug here, but that you should be able to see the different transparencies. Yeah.
Well, a way to fix that for now is really changing the color to a solid
Yeah.
color that's
Yeah, a
just
solid
having
one.
that
Yeah.
separately. Yeah.
Yeah. I see someone raised his hand. Andy?
Yeah. So I love, explaining that you can add a shape to the background of this to include it in your file. But I noticed that that like teardrop on the right side of the Lottie plugin next to the timeline.
Yeah, this one.
Yep. So that controls the background of that, but that's not included in the export.
Nope. This one is just for preview purposes only. Just
Okay,
so that you can
cool.
see your Lottie better. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Fine. Do we have any more questions? Anyone stuck? Or we're all pros and we can move on to the next part? Yeah? Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's take it up a notch further. Okay? And let's create multi-frame animations. And let's just do this together. So multi-frame animations are like frame by frame animations. So you kind of have to imagine like what you want to happen from one frame to the other. Like better example would be like if you want a ball to bounce. Frame one, you have the ball on the ground. Frame two, the ball goes up in the air. And then frame three, back down on the ground again. So that's basically it. And with multi-frame animations, you can create it with, 2 frames, 3 frames, 50 frames if you want to. I think I haven't seen someone make a multi-frame animation with like 100 frames yet, but you guys can be the first. Yeah, so we're gonna just reuse whatever we created just now. I'm just gonna copy, and use the heart graphics again. I'm gonna just copy it 3 times. Let's just do this. One thing to take note, this is very, 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 very important when you're doing multi-frame animations, is every frame has the same layer names. As you can see, heart 1, 2, 3, heart 1, 2, 3, and this one also heart 1, 2, 3. The same layer names and the same order. So don't mix up the order. And if you want things to disappear, like, I don't know, you're doing a confetti moment, like things like flying out and disappearing, do not delete the layer because that means, the order and the names are off. You got to have to use opacity, turn it down to 0% opacity to make things disappear. So that's how we're going to do like the workaround to keep all the layers there. But right now, let's just do something super simple, like a scale up and down. Let's do this together. So I'm just going to grab the second and third layer and just scale it down. And then the first layer, heart 1, I'm just going to make it bigger, like so. I'm going to keep the second frame as is, and let's do the same thing to the third frame so that it kind of loops. So select the second and third layer, scale it down, and the first layer, scale it up. When you're ready, we're going to open up the plugin again. So just right click, plugins, LottieFiles, run plugin. So this time, make sure you select all 3 layers and click export to Lottie. So now we've created a Lottie animation with multiple frames. So I'm just going to give like maybe a minute or so for you guys to try it out, use a different graphics, make your own, I don't know, play with different like movements, or you can actually do, scale up, rotate it, maybe, make things disappear and appear again with opacity. These are some things that you can do. Feel free to drop any questions, or if you're stuck, in the chat window, or, tag Yaamin. He's very free right now. He has nothing to do. So give him something to do.
I was about to tell you about this. Some Figma features may not render as expected. And then I saw that you're saying the same, so.
Yeah, we're doing a lot to improve the file format. Most of the features are currently, when we started off, I'll be very honest, Figma Lottie was something that we did just to kind of get simple animations done. Because what we noticed was we released a tool called Video to Lottie. So where you can actually convert video to a Lottie animation. And we saw that a lot of people were screen recording animations made using Smart Animate and using our tool to convert that. And of course, once you convert a video into a Lottie, you have a lot of frames, which kind of loses the niceness of a Lottie. So this is where we
Yeah.
kind of build it back then, so that you can actually convert a Smart animation into a Lottie. and we saw people hacking this. It's been crazy. So we've been introducing a lot of feature support right now and I'll show this a little bit later as well, that we actually support layer blends now, which is a huge thing with a lot of product designers, and we're still improving the file format. So yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
we'll keep improving. A challenge for everybody on this call is to break the plugin. If you break it, report it, and we'll get back to our team and we'll come up with a fix every week. So that's a challenge for you guys today.
Yeah. So like some features that are, usable, like that can be rendered by our plugin right now is like gradients, blurs, drop shadows are okay. But newer features by Figma, the one that they released maybe last week, like all the glass UI, all these things, and progressive blurs, they're not yet built into the plugin yet, but it will be soon. So most of them will render properly. But if you do find anything that you really want, feel free to just message us and we'll be happy to like add that in.
Wow, that's incredible that you add class FX there too in animations. Wow. There are any edit modes where you can fine tune animation of multiple layers via keyframes, a bit like After Effects or good old Flash.
There won't be any like, edit modes, like, where you can put keyframes. But in the next part, I will show you how to bring more control to your multi-frame animations with prototype flows.
Can you do gifts with images as the base using Lottie?
Yes, you can, but like Yamin mentioned, sometimes using too many images kind of, breaks the purpose of having a Lottie because of its smaller size, and also the infinitely scalable part. Because when you have a PNG, it might, get pixelated a little bit. But if you really need to, it's still possible. Okay, let's just move on to the next part where we bring more control to your animations. Let's just use the exact same multi-frame animations that we just did. I'm just gonna just copy it. So right here we have 3 frames that's ready to animate. Let's head on over to the right panel over here and select prototype. Now you're gonna have to connect frame to frame. So make sure you're connecting one frame to the other, like so, and do not connect the shape to the frame. All right? And when you've done that, select the arrow and we're going to select Smart Animate. This is where all the magic will happen. And once you have Smart Animate selected, you will see like some settings for curves where you can actually play with different ease values, like ease in, out, or like spring animations over here, which give a little bit more physics to your animations. That is something also Lottie compatible. And if you want even more control on your animations, you can even use custom Bezier, and actually, create your own speed graphs. But right now, I'm just going to use ease out. And I can also tweak up the duration. I'm just going to put like 300 over here. And I'm just going to do the same thing to frame 2 and 3. I'm just going to connect them. And then choose Smart Animate. The curve, I'm just going to use maybe ease out and change it up a little longer over here, like 800. Or maybe just make it 1000. When you're ready and happy with what you've done, make sure the first frame, you have a flow starting point, which is this little blue tag on the left side. If you don't already have that, you can go to the right panel and just add it. I would probably rename the flow something that you can actually remember what it is, because I think there are a few of you guys in the same Figma file, so it's a bit hard for you to find the flow later if it's all just numbers and alphabet. So just go put Kelly's heart, like so. And when you're ready, you can just open up the plugin again. And this time, you're going to select prototype flow. And I'm going to find Kelly's heart. And there you have it. So it's a little bit different now. You can see I have different ease values here. Timing's a little different and stuff like that. So you can actually try it out on your own. One really cool shortcut as well is you can actually select the first frame and just click export to Lottie if you've already have the flow starting point created. And you can also, without closing the plugin, just leave it aside. You can actually tweak your animation. If you're not happy with how this looks, I don't like this, I need more physics in this, I'm going to put bouncy. You can do that here and click on the refresh flow button. And there you go. On the spot, you can just tweak and keep on refreshing until it's something that you love. And then you can save it to your workspace and it's ready to implement. So that is animation sequences with prototype flow. Remember the very important thing I mentioned earlier, the layers have to be in the same name and the same order for every frame. Cut 1, 2, 3, cut 1, 2, 3. So make sure that's there. Super important. Okay, so that is the 3 really very simple methods in order to create a Lottie animation in Figma. I'm just gonna, give you guys maybe 2 minutes, kind of play around with prototype flows and see how your exports look before I'm gonna pass it over to Yaamin to take you over with part 2.
Does anybody have any question? Anybody who's stuck? I see the couple of you guys are trying out the heart. Just let us know, like, if you run into any problems. Just remember this animation itself. You have, okay, one question about my own animation. All right. You want to feel free to like unmute and you can just let us know what's going on.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to make this the bell, I want to just animate it to show like the notification, to the user. So when I did it, um I was able to like see like these two things like back and forth, which is moving, but if I want to see the third one, my question is I'm not able to animate the way I want. So that's where when you just select 3 of them and when you go and run the plugin of LottieFile, you'll be able to see what I've done. And if I can share my screen, that's going to be great. Otherwise, yeah, see, this is what exactly I was talking about. So I can see now I want to also see the third, which is like on the right side tilted. That's not
Yeah.
happening in here. So what am I doing
Oh,
wrong?
very simple. I found the issue. So just for everybody, the plugin itself is built on the Smart Animate function. I see that you use Move In. So if you go
Did I?
back to
Smart
yes,
animate.
yes, it's
I did
currently in
it
Move In.
smart.
There you go.
Here.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. Oh, then I did change it to smart animate. Okay.
So if you go back to
Uh,
Bounce, yes, now
uh-huh.
I should go back to yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Oops. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then okay, got it. Perfect. So that's working, but then how do I like make it quicker or faster? Like it's right now slow and bit uh,
The duration. You
the
can
duration.
change it
Should I
up.
change it? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, make it smaller.
Understood.
And then, yeah.
Okay, got it. I think I'm gonna experiment then.
Yeah,
Thanks.
no
Yeah.
worries.
That's it. Mhm.
Feel free to crash the plugin. That's the thing.
Yeah.
The moment you crash it, then you probably are there too. Like you're probably would learn a lot of stuff. Even we were initially when plugin was released, it did not support masking, so we had fake masking. But to be fair, our community is super amazing. They do a lot of experiments. So do experiments, and you probably figure out things which we would actually come to you to learn. So feel free to like crash it. So So, guys, welcome to the second part. Just before we go in, I kind of want to explain a little bit about the plugin. So how the plugin works, like what you saw just now with the prototyping, the multi-frame. So how it kind of works is very simple. So the plugin itself, it actually checks the changes you're bringing in from layer, like in each frame. So it checks each frame to see the changes you're bringing in from each of the layers. So I think Kelly did mention about layer names to be consistent and everything. So let me just show you what actually happens. So as you can see here, I'm not gonna actually prototype this. I mean, just add maybe a couple more different shapes and then maybe a couple of reds. All right, there we go. So, all right, sorry. So what the plugin itself does is the plugin itself is checking what you're kind of bringing changes to each of the layers. So if you're from a computing sense, if you heard about primary keys, unique keys, so these names actually is something that the plugin itself is checking. So every time that you make a change, the plugin checks what are the differences you're bringing from frame to frame, and then it renders the file. So let's just say in the middle of this frame and you change the name to square. The plugin itself is going to keep checking for different things, and this is what's going to happen. So there's going to be a couple of errors is going to happen. So one thing that you got to always have to keep in mind is to make sure that all the layers that you're working on remain consistent so that the plugin understands these are the changes I'm bringing in from frame to frame. And if you guys want to know a little bit more about certain errors that could be caused, these are certain things. Um, when you're working, of course, a lot of times when we're working, we love to just keep a similar name. For example, let's say I call this layer, and then I might have a couple of other shapes called layer, 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 and layer. Sometimes what actually happens, and our team has been working on it a lot, is that if you don't have a unique name for your layer, the plugin might get confused. And then when you kind of render, different shapes might interpolate and come together. And then you might have very funky, might be a very cool animation, but it might not be the thing that you were actually looking for. So it's very important to have a unique name for each layer. And then, of course, those layers should remain consistent. The last thing is, of course, we love paths. We love animating with paths. If you have 4 path points, it's important that the number of path points remain consistent. Let's just say I have this, and then if I'm animating, I do something like this. And then suddenly on a fifth, let's say that's on a third one, I add one more path point to my shape. Now it's kind of a little bit inconsistent because now you have 5 path points, where in this you have 4, and then in this you have 4. So your animation might become a little bit funky. Let me just render this here. So the idea is that you kind of have to make sure that all of your path points remain. As you can see, yeah, it's becoming a little bit crazy. So it might not be the way that I kind of envision the animation to be doing. So it's important to make sure that the path points, the number of path points in the layer that you are animating remain the same. Right. I just want to touch on those before we get to a little bit of the cool stuff. I mean, of course, Kelly did cover all the cool stuff, but it's gonna be a little bit cooler than the cool stuff. Any questions before I move in about the layer consistency and the path points? Thumbs up, thumbs down. All right. Nope, no questions. All right. Let's get into it. And again, if you guys have more questions afterwards, feel free to reach out to me. More than happy. I'm an open book. Just feel free to reach out. So, just one more thing before we go in. So if you are familiar with After Effects, what actually happens with each frame is kind of considered as a keyframe. So a keyframe is where you have all these values. Like I said before, the plugin checks the value differences. So each of these frames are considered a keyframe. In this case, what you're kind of doing is you kind of applying all these different, all these same values in transition from frame to frame. And it works similarly like this, but instead of having these, think of all of the frames as one of these. And then those are the transitions that are actually happening in terms of Figma to Lottie. And if you guys want to also, after this workshop, if you guys want to check out some more stuff, some more examples, we've actually compiled an entire list of examples here. Just click the link. Give me a sec. It's opening up. All right, here we go. So we kind of make a lot of cheat sheets so anybody who attends our workshop, they get access to our cheat sheet. So we actually made tons of cheat animation that you guys can grab. Just copy the animation, the file itself, bring it to your own board, and you can actually just start using it. We have a lot of different cool stuff you can try out. Toggle buttons, multiple loaders, even experiments with different other features we have with the tool. So now let's get back into the workshop. All right. So one of the most used animation tool, maybe a skill, is learning how to mask. Masking kind of helps to put certain things that you want in certain areas. Like you can probably hide those shapes or different layers in certain areas. Where inside like a composition, if you want certain things just to happen in a smaller surface, so it's kind of like a large surface, you can actually get all of those layers in that place using masking. In our plugin, we actually do support masking. Got to check the name. Sorry. There we go. Yeah. So you can actually create stuff like this using the plugin. Sorry, Carla, you was going to say something?
Yeah, I just want to give feedback already. Maybe that list should be in alphabetical order.
The inspirations? Oh, sorry, I think I mean.
The list of the layers, like when you go there to search for the animation, for example, this one is battery loader, so you don't see
Yeah,
it in alphabetical order.
sure. Yeah, that's something we're working on actually. Especially like when working on larger teams. Even for us, we probably have 90 to 100 animations, but yeah, it's something we're working on. Thanks for the feedback. So coming back to this, so masking is something that we do support as part of the plugin. What we're gonna create today together. I'm actually a huge fan of 8-bit games, especially things which kind of release on the arcade side. And I'm gonna teach you guys how to create like the ghost in Pac-Man today. So let's actually jump in and do it together with me. So first thing first, like Kelly said, let's actually draw a frame. Here we go. And again, don't worry, the same technique which is applied on this battery loader is the same technique we're going to be applying to create the Pac-Man ghost. So first thing first, you add a frame. And now let's actually create the shape. This is the outline shape of the ghost. Now, the first thing that I'm going to, of course, I'm going to add some curves because all designers love curves. We love to have curves on anything. Let me just remove the bottom side of it. Right, and there you go. I have my outline shape. And now what I'm gonna do is, let me just go back to this. I'm gonna grab a wave, which I've kind of used in this animation itself, and I'm gonna add it back into this. All right, and just remove the layer blends, and I'm gonna make it 100%. Right, there we go. All right, so in order for you to do a masking, of course, the type of masking that we support as part of Figma plugin is the normal mask that we actually have here. So just click Use as Mask. And now I have this really nice ghost looking character. Right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to also copy this a little bit. And then I'm going to put a layer on the bottom. So I have one more wave there. And now you can actually move this around to actually give that ghost look. We just go back to this. I'm gonna move this all the way to the right on the first frame. And on the bottom one, I'm gonna move it all the way to where we're connecting. All the way, wait, sorry, all the way to right on the bottom one, all the way to the left for the there in front. And in here, so this is all the way to the left. I'm gonna now move this all the way to the right. There we go. And then for the button on the bottom, let me just move it to the other side. And of course, let me prototype it. Connect the frames. Maybe instead of ease out, I'm gonna use linear because I wanna have like a animation which is looping, but no problems. Put 2000 here. Run the plugin. And now I have this ghost actually inside. I mean, using masking, I kind of have created this ghost. Now, of course, if I don't like the speed of how it's actually looking, I can just go back to the duration. And there we go. Now, of course, you guys might be thinking, where are the eyes? Way too fast to follow. Don't worry, I can do it step by step again. It's freezing. All right. Let's go back. I'm going to grab the wave again. And again, we're going to add the eyes a little bit later. We want to make sure everybody's able to follow. So let's actually do this again. All right. So
I
first step.
recommend you guys, sorry, Yami, I recommend you
Sorry.
guys to pay attention first before you try, because it's just incredible, because you start even to think of the animation in your head. So look at him doing first, and then afterwards try it.
kind of looks like jellyfish. Yes, because well, let's instead of calling it maybe a Pac-Man ghost, let's call it jellyfish today. All right. As long as it looks cool for your activists. All right. So let's go back. Okay, we have a question. Can the engineers use these animations when developing? I will take this exact animation at the end and I will show it in code as well. So don't worry. That's how we're gonna end it. All right. All right. Coming back to this. So let's go one more time, step by step. All right. Here we go. So I put a frame here. First thing first. So let's forget about the jellyfish for a moment. All right. Let's just forget about the jellyfish for a moment. Let's try something else. Maybe you guys want to do a sunrise. So first thing first, let me just grab this layer. So if you guys are wondering, yeah, thanks, Kelly, for making the shape. All right. So I'm just gonna grab this shape here in the bottom, copy this, and I'm gonna put this in here. Right. So now the next step is to, of course, make the area that you're gonna mask. Before that, let me also copy one more layer. And let me just move it around a little bit. I'm gonna click the bottom layer and oh, sorry. I just started following someone. Let me just go back. There we go. So I'm gonna click the front layer. I'm gonna maybe recolor this a little bit just to make it a little bit different from the layer I have in the front. So now let's actually create the area that you're gonna mask. So instead of, so I'm just gonna create a circle here. So this is gonna be the area that I'm gonna be working on. And then, of course, move the layer behind. There we go. Either you can right click and go to use as mask, or you can just go to this button here on the top right, click use as mask. So now you have this area inside the circle, basically the circle, where everything that you mask is going to be appear in. And now it's time to kind of, bring some movements, start animating it. One thing you can probably do is if you want to have that whole wave effect, just move one of maybe it can be either to the right or to the left, doesn't matter. Just move the layer all the way either to the left for the first one. Click the layer in the bottom, move it all the way to the other side. All right. And then copy this frame. Click this one, move it all the way to the other side. Click the layer in the bottom. If you're wondering how you can do it, press space, shift, and then drag. So it doesn't actually go out of the frame. All right. Now, of course, I want the water to rise. I'm gonna build it up. Maybe on this, I'm gonna click both flares. Let me put it a little bit down. Prototype it. Let me just put 4,000. All right. Yep. Click the layer, and then now I have this. So now, of course, there's no sun at the moment, but if I want to add a sun, let me just go back. I'll add a small sun, make the sun rise with this. Now, of course, the color to see is not going to be pink or purple, but let's just assume the sea is purple for today. There we go. Maybe move it out of the mask. Copy this layer, go back, add it back inside, make the sun come up, refresh, and there you go. Now we have a sun rising animation that you can probably use.
That feels like magic. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And again, there are tons of ways you can use masking. We can use it for toggle buttons. We can use it for like even very other of like very complex animations as well, where you want certain parts of it to appear certain ways. You can actually use masking to achieve a lot of cool stuff. Yes, you can actually hold space and shift. Yeah, so you hold down space. Yeah. So glad you did it before I said it. Yeah. Yeah, so when you hold space and shift, so if I dragged around without clicking space and shift, sometimes on Figma, the layer goes out of the frame. But when I click and hold this with shift and space, I can move it around as much as I want to multiple places. Yeah.
Hey,
I'll give you guys
Yamin.
like, yeah.
I think Gabby has a really good question uh on the chat.
Oh, apologies, I was late, so I might have missed this. Is the animation only for 1:1 ratio? Can you use bigger files or change the ratio? Very good question. Um, I could probably show an example. I was going to show this at the end, but let me show you an example. So it can be any ratio. So this is something that me and Kelly are currently experimenting on for a future project that we're currently doing. But it can be landscape, it can be horizontal, it can be based on any resolution that you actually want to. The cool thing about Lottie is, of course, it's like you can make it scale it as much as you want to. You can make it small as much as you want to. All of the layers and everything are in code, so you don't have to worry about pixelation or anything. And of course, the composition is up to you. You can make it like as big as you want to. If you want, make it even a star or anything. It's all totally up to you. It doesn't have to be one to one. Yes, we can, but in the interest of time, I'm gonna let you try. So Artemis, the question is, can you create an animation where the sun moves from left to right, like creating a half halo? Yes, you can, but in the interest of time, I'm gonna let you try it out by yourself because we got a couple more stuff I want to go through before we end. So in the interest of time, not today. Carla, we're sharing the recording, right? Afterwards.
Yes,
There
we
was a
are.
question about recording. All right.
Yes, yes. I will send an email, follow up with more information, all the files, links, and you'll be able to rewatch.
All right. Cool. So I'm gonna move to the next one. For the jellyfish, ghost, etc. If you guys wanna add some eyes afterwards, just pull in some eclipses. Oh, sorry, that's the sun way over there. All right, here you go. Just add some eyes by yourself. Put some colors in, and maybe a bit of a circle here for the pupils. And again, just go back and just move it around a little bit if you guys wanna try different things with the eyes. So yeah. The best thing to do is just to keep adding stuff into your animation so that you can try out multiple things. I also show you guys how like I know with this right now, the eyes itself are moving based on the different keyframes, but there is actually a way to have multiple animations created using a couple of tricks that we have with Figma that where when you create an animation, you can actually have two different animations playing at the same time at different speeds. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that in a little bit. So let me just copy this. I'll use this as an example. So one thing that we have enabled on Figma Lottie is a way right now, as you can see, when you play this animation, the eyes, it's not actually moving in a very interesting way. Um, I have everything's moving on that exact same speed that I've actually set it up. So as you can see, the eyes itself is actually just moving up. You don't actually have control over the eyes, but I love the way that the body is currently moving. So what we've actually done is we actually enabled a way where you can actually control different sections of the animation based on different speeds. Oh, so just to give you a bit of an idea. So right now, I have the body. I love how the body is actually moving, right? But I don't like how the speed of the eyes are actually moving. So what I can actually do is I can actually take it out. Let's go back here. I remove these eyes. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create an extra set of frames and I'm gonna animate the eyes separately. All right, let's put it in. All right. So I kind of want these eyes to also blink. Right now, since the body itself, when it's moving, is actually moving at around 4,000 milliseconds. So I don't want to have the eyes blink at 4,000 milliseconds. That might be too long. So what I can actually do is animate this separately. All right, there we go. Just add as a prototype. Let's go to linear, 300, linear, 300. Let me just check out the eyes first, see if how it looks like. All right. Maybe after this, I want something else to happen as well. Maybe I want the eyes to go here. And then maybe I want the eyes to just come back to this position. All right. And maybe after blink, I want to add a bit of a delay. So I can add a bit of a delay. And now if you can see this up, maybe this 3,000 is a bit too much. I'm just gonna add 100. And then go to smart, ease in, ease out, maybe add 200. All right. We add a bit of a delay here. So now I have this speck of ice. And of course, I want to add this back into this animation that I've created. So what you can actually do is up here, what you can actually do is you can actually convert this into a component set. And now, if from After Effects terms, it kind of becomes what we call a pre-composition. And what you can actually do is now, since I have this component 242, I can even copy this first frame, add this back in. And again, main thing is to make sure that everything is copy pasted in. And so now I would actually have two different animations playing inside one composition. Right. There you go. So now I have the eyes playing separately, and now I have the body playing separately. So component sets can be actually done pretty quickly to actually kind of achieve all this, where you have one animation playing in different speed, a layer playing at different speed. So you can actually achieve a lot of cool stuff. To give a bit of example, and again, let me know if you guys are not able to follow this. You can even do house animations where you actually have two different animations playing at two different speeds. I said this house animation I have here. So now I have a house which is operating in a different speed when I have the wave which is operating at a different speed, and now I have the sun animating in a different speed. So you can kind of use components to kind of mix it up. If you are PD and if you're looking into like design systems, all you gotta do is create one component set, and this can be used across all of your design files. So imagine you create a button, you want to keep consistency of animations. You can define transitions, and then of course use component sets to actually have that being used everywhere in terms of your design. Now, in terms of animation, of course, this can also be used in a way to mix different stuff in, so that if you have, let's say, a brand where you have a person, you have a background which works in a different way, and then of course you have different complementary stuff which comes into the design. All of these can be, if you're animating, you can use all of this in a way where you create component sets, and these can be mixed up to actually create different stuff as well. One thing at LottieFiles that we understand is that we want to make sure that when you have a system, all of this can be supported. And this is one way you can actually keep all this consistent across Figma. I'm gonna give you guys maybe I'm gonna give you guys like 5 minutes for you guys to try it out. So how it works is, again, coming back, you can again you can create an animation. Just very simple. I'll just go back here. I'll just create a couple of component sets. Right, there we go. Maybe I'll make a bit of a heartbeat kind of square. Connect it as a prototype. Nope. I was previously having difficulty in multiple layers. Thanks for explaining this point. No problem. So how I actually do the component set thing, mixing different animations is you kind of put this everything together. Like, so I have these animation right now, which is already done. Going back here, let me just remove the background. I'll make another one here. Connect this. Linear 600. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this again into component sets. Now, if I want to add this in to check it out, I can just click the first frame, copy paste in, go back to this, click the first frame, copy paste in, add a flow starting point here. It's already added. Go back to the plugin, run the plugin, and just play this flow. Set the end here. And now, oops, sorry. I actually forgot to do anything here. Just put 179. And there you go. So now I can actually add different things. And again, feel free to experiment. You can actually create a lot of very cool stuff. This is actually something that our team has actually created below using this. So imagine having like a rewards card that you kind of want to keep reusing. But we have a lot of flow. I just realized, yeah, Carl, I see your point as well. You have a lot of flows right now. But you can actually mix up different things. You can create stuff like this as well. It also works the other way around, where you create component sets and you can actually control them on different speeds as well. There we go, where you have different component sets and then you have a main timeline, which is this, and you can actually move the different components around and actually achieve something. If you go back to the battery loader, um, if you want to like have different things playing at a different time, like I have this number where I kind of have this loader where I have the numbers appearing based on the amount of charge I have. I can make it in a different component set and I can actually add it into my other animation. So now I have this actually working on two different speeds, so I can actually achieve something like this. So feel free to try it out. I think in interest, I think we have a couple of minutes left, but feel free to try it out. And then I'll show you guys how you can do the handover. And we'll also talk about the challenge. So yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if everyone caught it. I saw you using the plugin and change the background when you were playing with the eyes just for them to be visible because it was white on top of white. I feel it's interesting to point it out to people that if the animation is not showing off, you can change the background color just to be able to see it.
Yes. So pretty simple. Um, anything that you have, I would just use the clap that we kind of showed before. Go to this, edit background, and you can actually change the colors. So right now we have white on white. So if I need to see like what's on the background itself, and if I want to kind of differentiate, you can just click this button here, edit background, and then you can actually preview. Um, just change the color so that you can see it in multiple different preview colors. All right. Any questions? I know I have 10 minutes left, so I just want to make sure that everybody is covered. Um, Curious to know, will there be one of these sessions in the future? If so, I'm going to reach out to my team, suggest ethics workshop. Extremely informative and I feel empowered to make really cool animations. Things for students. I mean, you're welcome. Um, did you click component because it's not showing component set on my end? So in order for you to see component set, so what you can actually do, let me just convert this into a component set. So what you can actually do is go to design, click the arrow here, and then instead of component, click component set. All right. I hope that answers the question, Christina. All right, awesome. So I think I did promise that I'm gonna implement, maybe not the ghost, maybe I'll implement this lovely little sunrise that I was able to make. So of course, once you're done with the animation, in order for you to hand off, there are a couple of ways you can actually do it. So if you are on a paid plan for on Figma, of course, you get access to dev mode. And on dev mode, there are a couple of things you can actually do. I'm not gonna show exactly what you can try out with dev mode in the interest of time, but on dev mode, we have a plugin called LottieFiles for Figma dev mode plugin, where when you insert it as a GIF, what actually happens is that, let me just go back a little bit here. When you insert the animation as a GIF, the GIF itself has subdata, metadata, where we actually identify where the animation is saved in. So let me just show a little bit here. So I can save it to my workspace. I'm going to go back here to demo. And I'm going to save the animation. Now, if I want to insert it back into my design, I can just click the frame, insert as a GIF. So unfortunately, Figma doesn't support Lottie's natively. So in the meantime, don't worry, you can insert it as a GIF. But when you hand off, don't worry, you can hand off to your developer as a Lottie. So once it's inserted into your design, what you'll notice is the GIF that you've inserted. For example, here, if you want to play, of course you can, if you want to play the file, you can press play. All right. It's a little bit slow because it's a GIF, don't worry. But you can actually preview and see how the entire animation actually plays. So now, of course, once you're done, what you can actually do is you can click this button and actually click open in browser. What you see here is the animation. So this is actually the LottieFiles workspace. If you are looking into, like, and this is basically, again, if you're working on teams, this workspace kind of enables you to like work with different teams. Let's say I come in here, I find a couple of problems with my animation. I can go here, I can just tag, I can just say, Kelly, I don't like this animation. And Kelly would actually get a notification that in real time that she can come in, she can actually start fixing things. There are a couple of other stuff as well. So I'm not going to go through everything, but you can also do color palettes as well. Test out the animation with different colors. And again, if your brand colors or anything change, you can actually use this and to actually do simple edits as well. The other thing is, of course, we also allow version history. So if you want to create like a new version of this, but you don't want to actually change like make a new URL, make a new animation, you can actually upload different versions of this. So again, keeping it consistent across your teams in terms of like the animation itself as well. Of course, we have other stuff here as well if you guys want to check it out later. We are right now working on our own creation tool as well. It's called Lottie Creator. But once you're done with Figma, if you want to, and I think there was a question about making specific changes to this, you can actually bring it to Lottie Creator. We are gonna probably very soon release the full version of this. You can actually come in and let's say I don't like the way this is currently there. So I can just grab the animation here. I can I'm in the file here and I can actually move around how it actually looks like. Let's say I want the sun to come up a little bit faster. And then I want to add maybe ease in, ease out. I can actually do that as well. So right now, sun comes up faster and it goes down. So you can make these simple edits using Lottie Creator. And again, Creator is also connected to After Effects as well. So once you're done creating this animation, you can actually hand off the animation within Figma to your motion designer who can actually pick it up, or you can actually come to Lottie Creator and do the edits as well. The other thing that I kind of want to show you guys before, and I got 3 minutes, all right, is that we also have a way you can assign motion tokens to your animation. Let's say this is the sun, and I want to create, let's say, I call this layer sun. And I say instead of like for you guys to give me a sec. Here we go. We call this wave. So this is sort of like motion tokens. Let's call this wave one. I'll go down, I'll click this layer, and I'll call this wave two. Now, let's say you have different themes on your website or your product, and you want to easily apply one single animation you want to apply different themes for that animation. What we kind of allow is after you kind of set tokens for your layers, similar to how you have on variables on Figma, you can actually assign these tokens. And then once you're done, you can actually go to Theme Manager. You can actually assign multiple themes. Let's say on a dark mode, I want to have another color here. And then maybe for the wave, just gonna assign some random colors. So now while you preview, and if you want to check out how it looks on other colors, you can actually, and on a single animation, you can have multiple colors and you can achieve a lot of stuff as well. And then once you're done, you can export this animation out. And again, we're providing an easy way for designers to get more control. And then now your animation would have multiple themes. And to hand it off, on the right side, you have multiple ways you can hand off the file, multiple files that dev can come in and actually get the file in. Lottie optimized JSON, Lottie JSON. Now, of course, if you are a no-code dev like me, you can actually enable asset CDN, grab this embed HTML. Even your dev can actually get it as well. Go back here, just paste the code in, and you have your animation implemented. It's that easy. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I want to see some animations in some portfolios right now.
Yeah. If you're using stuff like Webflow, Framer, we have a plugin which connects to the LottieFiles platform. You can just insert the animation. You can even add themes, do multiple things. Themes also are recognized on dark mode and light mode as well, so you can actually set it up. And once like your system, like you can set a preference as well, like for your system, let's say on dark mode, you want certain things to happen. Um, Automatically the animation would change color if you set it up as well. So possibilities are there for you guys. All right.
That's
Um,
incredible. We
yeah.
have one question here still. Just I want to hear from you too. I'm sure it's possible, but for sure you have a better explanation that is just possible. Nirmal asks, like, can you create animations like this and import them to a wider set of UI designs and also be a part of design systems? I think you just taught the whole thing without seeing the question. So do you have anything else to add for him?
Yeah, we have one more tool which I'm not able to show right now, which is coming out in September, which would probably help you out, which is coming to a Lottie Creator System. But um, if you want more information, join me on Lottie.community. It would when it comes out, we'll do a huge announcement and you can actually find out about it. But I'm not able to share about it. As you can see on my top left three, there are three files which I can actually show you guys, but yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Suspense.
Cool. And Yamin, what about the Lottie certification? Tell us more about that
Oh
too.
yes, I nearly forgot about it. Oh, after all this explanation, I forgot about it. Okay, cool. So if you guys want to get certified as a Figma Lottie expert, let me just share my screen over here. All right. So after you guys are done, if you guys want to get certified as a Figma Lottie expert, so if you go to the pages on the left side, there's a page called Challenge. So this is how you can actually get certified. So what we're gonna keep it open. We're not gonna make a team, so you guys can try out different types of animations. Some ideas below here if you guys want to try out. These are stuff that me and Kelly kind of created for today, for you guys to kind of get some examples. Again, what we're looking at is even though your animation is simple, what we're kind of looking into is if you have the basic foundations of what we taught you today. Like for example, keeping the layer name same, making sure that the animation can be rendered. So as long as you follow the basic foundation we taught you today, you guys are gonna be fine. Just a couple of rules. So we accept only two type of animations. This is we know that single frames are too easy, so don't do single frames. Multiple frames are still in a way you're kind of leaving the entire control to the plugin to do the transition. So don't do those. Um, Anything that is added as a file, not anything that's shown in the workshop, but any files that we have provided, don't resubmit them the same way. If you want to, it's okay for you guys to take those files and redo them in a very cool way. But as long as it's not the same file, we're totally fine. Um, the type of animation we're looking into are prototype animations and multi-component animations. So anything which is prototype, which you actually have control in terms of the transition and what's going on, we will accept. So if you want to get certified, you can just follow the steps here. So we have a type form link. that you guys need to fill out once you are done submitting. So what you guys need to do is, so this is a very crucial step. Run the plugin. Let's say this is my animation here. Just go idle one, grab idle one, go to this button, save to, and then press this button called publish to community. And once you press publish to community, it will take you to this page here. Put the animation name. I'm just gonna call this Steve. Add the certification tag here. Let's call it certification. They put skill hour as well. If you want, you can add your name. Let's call this Yaamin. And put this tool as LottieFiles for Figma. Add a bit of description. I made this for the skill hour workshop. Confirm. And once you publish the animation, it will actually give out you a URL. Oh. Right. It's taking a bit of time. I think this is because of my education email, but what it will probably provide you a URL. So once you get the URL, go to the Typeform link, which is giving in the top here. Just click it. And you can start filling this out. So few questions here. So this part is very important. Don't sorry, I think Loom just opened. The name that you type in here is the name that's going to appear on the certificate. So we had previously, I think, Kelly, I don't know, we have very funny names as well, like Blastoise, Luffy, Dragon. Like, don't put those, put your real name. This is going to be on the certificate. In this case, I'm going to put Yaamin, put the full name here, put in your email. Please do rate this workshop. If you really like it, put 5 stars. If you didn't like it, put 1. We don't mind, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the workshop. Okay, so here's where you put in the animation submission link. So once you push it to public, you would actually get a link. Oh, yeah, here we go. So you go to this button, copy this link, come here and paste it. And then there'll be a couple of other questions as well that we do ask. But yeah, after that, a couple of questions, submit, we'll check it out. And yeah, we'll get you guys certified. So the submission date is 21st August. So do submit before 21st August. I put central here. But yeah, just make sure you submit before 21st August so that we can check it out and we can certify you as soon as possible. Yeah, that's it. All the instructions are here.
So who is going to get certified now? Like, because I try, definitely. Still, I want to remind you too that Yaamin and Kelly came here, but they also have a community. And you can also join that community that, just like I said in the start of this video, there are 14 million people already using LottieFiles, like designers and developers, and you should too. If this is your first contact with it, or now you learn how to do the animations, take profit from it.
We're more than happy. We have a lot of stuff coming out. Like Carla said, join us on Lottie community. Our entire team is on Lottie community, from our CEO to our support team, our design team, our dev team. So if you guys are running into any problems, you have any questions, so feel free to pop in. You get a very nice welcome message from a guy called Yaamin, and then we can start chatting there as well. But yeah, also if during this period, if you guys get confused, if you guys run into any errors, like Kelly said, tag us on the Figma file and we'll jump in. We'll try to help you guys out as much as we can until the submission date. So open support until you do your submission.
That's a huge offer, guys. Like, we cannot really take it for granted. Okay, so let's all get certified. Oh, and Yaamin told me this before, and he did not mention here. If you are on Contra, this certification, you'll be there too. So it's really worth for you to have it. What did you think about this session? Wasn't it amazing? I just loved how everything went. It was so smooth to learn all these type of animations. Smart animate, do that ghost or jellyfish. It was so fun to watch things really coming to life in front of my eyes using a very simple Figma plugin. I hope you got excited too and that you are joining this challenge and being certified by Lottie. I sure am. So if you want to join me in the next Build a Clock, I will apply everything I learned today into one of my app products that is called UX UI Hub. And I really love you to join me and also tell me where could we add more animations? Not just the loading, but maybe it is a little touch in the button. It is a success page. It's in your profile. So let's change that app together again and live. Next build hour, it will happen soon. So subscribe. See you soon. Bye.
Bye, guys. See you.
Bye, guys.